Hey guys, I know you can't really see me, I'm down here at the bottom, but a couple of things. Hey, it's Sunday afternoon, and I know guys, this is not the way you wanted to do your end of your senior year. Hopefully this won't be the end. Hopefully there is something, maybe we'll come back to school. I'm kind of hoping, I'm expecting that we will be, but I miss you so much. Y'all were and are such a delight to me. Had such a great time in your class, and I hope to return. But I do have a lot of stuff to show you today from Hines that we have to get done, mainly because you want to be able to graduate this year with these two college classes behind you. Okay, so Hines is really, they want you to do that. I want you to do that. So I've kind of tried to construct a calendar for us that can kind of give you some ideas. Now, Hines is, I think, for the foreseeable future, probably to the end of the year, online. If we come back to class, we'll probably resort right back to where we were. I don't think we would stay online, but at this point, I have to have a lot of things happening in Canvas. So let me show you this. I have gone through and just done the weeks. So here's the week coming up. Here's the next week. Here's April 6th, and then there's a couple of other things that I haven't ironed out completely, but it kind of gives you an idea of what we're doing. Obviously, we will not be in school this week, so I will get that done for you. I'll explain that. If we're back in school on the 30th, then we'll still probably follow this outline, so you do have an idea of what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce this to you today, but of course, Monday, explain the research paper intro and first characteristic assignment. So what I'm doing is breaking up your draft. This first assignment is 3 paragraphs. It's your intro paragraph, it's that first body, and that second body. Okay, so essentially it's your entire first characteristic of whatever disorder you're talking about. This is the one that I will download and comment on it. Like, I'll send you a copy back of my comments on it. It's the one that I'm really going to pour over, okay? We're also going to go ahead and find your film review. I mentioned that to you earlier, that you're going to have a film review. You were going to have 2, but I've cut it down to 1, but I've got to show you how to find it, and then you'll just have to go through and find one that you think will work. And then we have a discussion board where you go in and you put the link in to the article so I can know where it is. Like if you have a question about it, or if you need help with Works Cited, I'll know I can go to it quickly. All right, so Tuesday by midnight, you're going to submit your 3-paragraph draft and your film review article. Okay, we are doing this pretty much. I'm giving you 2 days in between assignments, like to get things done, mainly because I'm not asking for a lot. If you did your outlines, which from what I looked at, so many of you turned in pictures, so I couldn't really look at those closely, but I feel like, you outlined most of it, you had most of the boxes filled in, so you have to remember that what you're doing with the intro paragraph is the first 6 boxes becomes your intro. Then that next page is that first body paragraph. So you should have most of this work done. Now, after this one comes back and I give you some input on it, you'll be able to see things you might need to change, okay? And then this is just the discussion board, and I'll go through that with you in just a minute. But just to kind of show you, Wednesday and Thursday, you'll be working on the second characteristic assignment, which simply means that the next 2 body paragraphs that talk about and pretty much thoroughly review the second characteristic. Then that's due Thursday by midnight. Friday, introduce the third character. In other words, I'm going to touch base with you with a video, show you what I've seen. Now, on the second characteristic and the third characteristic, I'm looking at it. I'm spot checking. I'm making sure topic sentences are there. Do I know what scene we're talking about? Are we still dealing with is this a good characteristic? I'm going to give you comments. I'm just not downloading it and sending you a written copy. All right, so on Monday of the 30th, the third characteristic paragraph will be submitted by midnight. Tuesday, we'll introduce 4th characteristic and conclusion. So that's essentially body paragraph, 8 and 9, I think. Remember, first and 10th paragraph for intro and conclusion. Then on Wednesday, I'll probably send you another video to kind of help you with, hey, what are we doing? We're coming toward the end, so let's make sure we're good there. And I will give you some conclusion help. Thursday of that week, the 4th characteristics, those 2 body paragraphs plus your conclusion will be due. I give you a little more time. You have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to get that in. Friday, we'll talk about Works Cited. Make sure everybody knows what they're doing Works Cited wise. Wednesday night, that'll be due the Monday of April 6th, the Works Cited page just by itself. Tuesday, you're putting finishing touches. Technically, guys, you just turned in your old paper. Okay, so you're pretty good. So on Wednesday of the week of April 6th, by midnight, your whole entire paper plus Works Cited will be due. Okay, and then that week, the end of that week, I'll go over Essay 4. I kind of have an idea for your last paper, so we'll go over that. And final exam is still, as I'm planning, April 30th. Okay. All right, so let me explain to you what I want you to do. The first thing you might want to do is click on the actual assignment, because when you do, you'll see the template. So let me go to the template quickly. All right, here it is. Okay, so same thing, heading, title. All right, so you can go to your outline, and I can look at that real quick too. It's going to be 1, second box, third box, fourth box, fifth. So some of you may not have quite 6 sentences, but a lot of you will have the 6 boxes is what you're going to put right here. Okay, and this is pretty much an outline of what those boxes are. Begin with your hook question that introduces your disorder, or whatever your first 2 sentences were in the outline. All right, then define your disorder using a lead-in and parenthetical citation. I think David asked that question in the group chat. What is that? Okay, so here it is. According to, most of you are going to be using your Hines article. So right here, you need to put last names. Whatever, according to Smith and Jones. This is your quote in here. Make sure it's exactly what you see in the quote. End your quotation marks here. PAR means paragraph. Put the paragraph number. Count them as best you can. I will not be the police and say, no, that is paragraph 4, not 3. But it needs to be in the ballpark. Then introduce your character and briefly summarize the plot of your film. And then end with that thesis from your outline. Okay? Pretty simple for your first intro paragraph. All right, first body. One characteristic of schizophrenia is mood swings. That's your topic sentence there. Use a quote from one of your articles that backs up this characteristic or further explains it, and I give you an example. Most of you used Mayo Clinic, so you could say Mayo Clinic says. Here's your actual quote, paragraph again, number. Use the bridge sentence. In other words, this is where you're going to tell me what scene we're talking about. Remember, in this body paragraph, you're explaining how your character's actions or words in the scene you pick show that characteristic. So you're looking at actions and words, okay? No film devices at all. All right, now, next body. The film devices and techniques in the scene where the Mad Hatter hosts a tea party help to further emphasize mood swings, okay? So here we are, same scene as this, same characteristic as this paragraph. But now we're going to talk about film devices. And I went through, and I don't think a lot of these were on the group chat, but I had a lot of people ask me about it personally. So if you're trying to talk about mood swings, that one minute she's happy, the next minute she's like completely angry. So what things help you see that? What devices might emphasize that? Well, a close-up. Close-up on the face when she's happy, and there's another close-up when she's angry, so that you see the difference in her facial expressions. What else? Lighting. Lighting may be really focused on a particular character during a mood swing, when you see that minute from happy to sad. So you're just emphasizing. We're not doing anything like serious diagnosis, okay? You're just trying to show that here she's acting very strange. She's really angry. She's inappropriately angry. She is whatever your characteristic is. And you're just simply showing how these film devices highlight that or emphasize. Those are your big words to use. And then don't forget to give me some kind of concluding sentence, okay? So technically, and this just tells you that once you've done these 3, the essay is a repeat. You'll do the second characteristic, the film devices in this scene, okay? So when we do characteristic 2, it's these 2 paragraphs again. So in other words, you can copy and paste this to start over, okay? Because it's the same exact thing for second characteristic, then third characteristic, fourth characteristic. Okay, and then you'll put your conclusion. But I did show you that I will give you some help with your conclusion. Okay, and I don't know I don't know what that word's supposed to be. Ignore that. Delete it. Okay, so the other thing I want you to do is to go back in here, go to modules. Now I'm going to keep that on the front page where it has it by week, what you're doing every day. But just remember that if you need something, go to modules and go to research paper. You're going to see everything that we've ever done there. All right, so I want you to go to the module research paper and click on film review articles right here. This is going to take you to the website that I want you to use. So let's say, here it is, it shows up, but you could just, if you click up here in the white, it'll take you to it. So what I want you to do, let's say you're doing Alice in Wonderland. Okay, and we search for it. Now you'll see there's the 1951, which we're not using. The 2010, I believe that's our Tim Burton. Okay. So you click on that. Okay, and you will come down here and you will see all the different reviews. It should tell you how many we have. Maybe it doesn't. Okay, doesn't matter. So here they all are. So you can choose any of these. Now, you're going to have to pick and choose some and then look through them. Because if you're doing Alice, then you need an article that kind of talks about that. Let's talk about LA Times. Some of them are going to be really short, and you probably don't really need that. You probably want longer. But I promise you, if you have to read more than one film article to find the one you want, they're not going to be super long. Okay. So okay, so you can kind of see this one's not going to be a real positive one because it says, well, it says through no fault of its own, Alice also has the misfortune of being the first major 3D release to come out after the Avatar revolution, which would be unfortunate. And when you add in that Burton chose to shoot in a 2D and have the footage converted, it inevitably plays like one of the last gasps for the old-fashioned ways of doing things. Okay, so here's a good one. Look, it says Alice is a bit of a rebel. She doesn't wear a corset. And though she doesn't know it, she's on the way to what her family hopes will be her engagement party. And you can kind of tell that there's some enough stuff about Alice that you may, what you're trying to do, guys, is find one sentence in here about your character that you can put in the paper. And you can put it in anywhere you want to. Okay, it also has stuff about the cat. So what you're going to do is kind of choose some of these, read them, see if you can kind of find one that you think might work. Roger Ebert is always a good one. He's a very established reviewer. Sorry, taking forever. Okay, so here's his. Okay, so let's say you read this. And look, this one kind of, he says right here, he brings to Carol's characters and appearance as distinctive and original as Tenniel's classic illustrations. That's the guy that did the original for the illustrations for the book. So that's kind of cool. You can probably put that anywhere depending on whatever character you're doing. Okay, so this one might be a good one. So when you find one that you think you're going to use, come up here and copy it for me. Come back here and you can go back to the home page after you found the one you like. You can tell I have good internet, it's fast. Okay, so you could, right here, film review article, and this is where you're going to be doing your discussion board. So I might put Alice, and let's say I'm going to do borderline personality disorder, and then I'm going to put a link in. Insert it. It's going to come up as a link, and I might change it maybe to Ebert. Not Ebert. But anyway, and then post it, and that way it'll be really easy for me to be able to click on that link and find your article. That's all you're doing. And I'm asking you to put your character film and disorder because some of you did different ones. Okay.